So welcome to the Bigwu Fitness podcast. This is episode 7. I'm here with my friend Allison. How you doing, Allison?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. So today we'll be talking a little bit about Allison, volleyball career, her background, her stories, her highs and lows. It'll be a great episode today. But before we get started, we're going to open a word of prayer. Okay, Allison, is that okay?
Yeah.
God, thanks so much, my little sister Allison. Thank you. We can come here together in your name to do a little interview. I pray you bless our conversation, may be pleasing and acceptable in your sight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Yeah, so Allison, thank you so much once again for coming.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Paul, can you tell the people a little bit about your background, your family, and just just to get started?
Okay. Well, my background, I was originally born in California and I moved up here to Washington when I was 6.
Mhm.
I have two younger brothers and we're just a huge like sports competitive family. We've all done sports like since we were probably started like when we were all like 3, like before like as soon as we could walk.
Mhm.
My parents did sports in high school. My mom was a swimmer and basketball player. My dad did basketball and like all the other sports.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's kind of what drives our family is
that's
definitely
good.
sports.
That's
Yeah.
good. So growing up, which sport did you grew up playing first? Your first sport?
I think it had to be soccer and basketball. Those are definitely the first two that I did.
Soccer or basketball? How was
Mhm.
your basketball career? You're pretty tall.
Yes,
How was your
that
basketball
definitely
experience?
helped. It was actually a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was nice because both my parents played, so they were able to help me out. But it definitely, as soon as it started getting a bit more hand to hand and like a
Hmm.
little bit more intense, I think it got a lot for me physically because of it's kind of become a very physical sport as you gotten older.
Yeah,
Um, so I guess I didn't like that.
yeah. I understand. I understand. How old were you when you started playing volleyball, and why did you switch to volleyball?
Okay, I think I had to be in either third or fourth grade. I think I was
Mm-hmm.
like 10.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there are two girls that helped me start volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
One was I had a new neighbor who she was a rental. She played volleyball actually at Skyline High School, this guy that I played for, and
Mm-hmm.
she was originally from California and she was so good. She was, I think, a freshman or sophomore and had like 8 full rides.
Yeah.
She ended up going to LMU
Mm-hmm.
and she was just so good. And I watched her play and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I had a friend that already was playing volleyball who's 2 years older than me. Her name's Arden Kaylee.
Yeah.
And she also plays now volleyball in college. And we just went to Emmy's game, that was her name, Emmy Walters,
Yeah.
and we just enjoyed watching it. And she helped me like find clubs to play for, and I just really grew to love the sport.
Yeah. Which club did you play for? Your first club?
Oh, it was Moxie. It was the
Moxie.
name in Bellevue.
Okay.
It was a great place to start. I loved Cindy was the I think the owner of it, and
Yeah.
she was just amazing.
Amazing. That's cool.
Yeah.
So describe your high school volleyball experience. How would you describe your high school volleyball experience? Like, was it good? What's the bad? What's the challenges? Um, want to know.
Okay. Well, I've been on varsity since a freshman,
Okay.
which and since then we've had 3 coaches. The first one my freshman year retired.
Hmm.
He was a really nice man. I loved him. He was great. And the girls were all so positive. I had Arden there. We went to the same high school, and
Yeah.
she was super supportive and really helped me out on the team, especially because I was the only freshman.
Yeah.
Um, and from there, we had a new coach sophomore year. So that was definitely a new experience getting to know a new coach. But
Hmm.
I think our team, we ended up going to state. So we did really well that year too.
Hmm.
But he decided he wanted to move to another school. And
Hmm.
so we got a new coach last year,
Hmm.
and he's been great. We have him now this year. And we went to state as well last year.
Hmm.
So I think it's definitely, and the girls have all been great. Last year, like sophomore, junior year had to be like one of my favorite years. The girls, the
Yeah.
camaraderie was just amazing. I
Hmm.
think that's what really makes high school special is if you have a good group of girls.
Yeah. So if you compare, I'm not so familiar with the club volleyball, right?
Yeah.
So if you comparing club volleyball versus high school volleyball, which one is more competitive, and which league will you get the more offers from to play college ball?
Okay, yeah. Definitely,
In your opinion,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely club.
Hmm.
That club, especially some different clubs, are like just sometimes the next level. Like
Hmm.
A5 or Mad Frog, I think they're from like Texas and California. Those clubs, if you go watch them, they're
Hmm.
insane. They're so cool to watch. But yeah, club, especially like when you go to like these higher tournaments, there's nationals, what they call it, where you're just playing teams from all over the world.
Yeah.
And that's definitely where you get the most college looks too. They
Wow.
all come, colleges from all over will come like watch you play, especially at nationals.
Yeah. So club volleyball is where it's at.
Yes, it
I like
is.
it. I like it. What's the best game you ever had playing between club and high school? What's the best volleyball game you look back like, man, everything just going your way? What's the best game you ever had?
I think it had to be this year when we went to our summer soiree was the name of it,
Hmm.
and we played a team called SVA,
Hmm.
and they were a very competitive team. We were like on a very similar like skill level, and so every time we played them, we went to like 3 sets. It was best 2 out of 3, and we went to 3 sets. It was such a fun game. There was so much energy, and like we were all coming together on the team, and I felt like I got a lot of kills. I got some
Hmm.
blocks. I just felt like it was just such a great game.
Yeah, that's amazing. What's the longest game you ever had? I heard sometimes volleyball games you gotta be playing long sets, right? What's the longest and toughest game you ever play?
I think it had to be high school because
Hmm.
those are 3 out of 5 sets.
Hmm.
And we were playing East Lake.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I think it was like 13 to 15 because the fifth set goes only to 15.
Hmm.
And it was like 13 to 15. I think this was like a year or two ago because we're rivals. We're like a
Yes,
rivalry like schools. And so every time we play them, we're always like, okay, we have to play our best. We have to like
exactly.
give it our all.
Hmm.
And um definitely we've done that a few times with them. So where
Hmm.
we won or the other team won, but yeah, that's
That's
it's gotta be
amazing.
it.
How do you deal with disappointments when the game they had a bad game or the game plan you had didn't go your way? How do you deal with disappointments?
It's definitely hard because like I personally expect a lot from myself to like be able to rise above like if I'm not mentally like trying to be mentally there.
Yeah.
So it's definitely hard, but luckily with volleyball you always have another game. There's
Yes.
always the next game, and then so I just focus on doing better in that game,
Hmm.
and that's probably what I do.
That's good. How do you set goals? Goal setting, like for the season. Do you do weekly goal, monthly goal, or the whole season goals? How do you set your goals?
I think I start with like a pretty like big goal, like an overall goal, like okay, by the end of the season I want to be doing this and this,
Hmm.
but then I set small goals on my way there to
Yeah.
get to the bigger goal.
Yeah. That's great. And then next one I want to talk about when you were growing up as a little girl,
Yeah.
right? What was your dream college you always dream of playing for?
I think, oh my gosh, when I was younger compared to how I wanted to go D1 all in. I think it was I wanted UW. I think
Hmm.
UW was my main
Yeah,
one. I
you
went to like
the
a college camp when I was little. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
yeah.
And I probably had to be UW or probably or Wazoo. Probably
Hmm.
one of those two because I was in Washington and I was like, oh, those are the top schools like here for volleyball. And I was like, I just
Yeah,
had to go there.
that's cool. That's cool. But right now, do you still want to go D1?
No.
No, why?
um, it it's definitely great for the people that want to, but I
Yeah.
feel like it becomes a job,
Hmm.
and I want to be able to go to college and still play at a competitive level,
Yeah.
but be able to still focus on school and
Yeah.
friends and maybe do another sport outside of that.
Yeah. Absolutely. So
Hmm.
when you go to college, what do you want to study?
Okay, I want to be a equine vet, so a horse vet.
You gotta tell me your horse stories. You got you
Oh,
into
I have
horses. That's good
so
too.
many.
Yeah.
Um, but I love animals. Like everyone for the longest time was like, you need to be a vet. Like you should work with animals. And I was like,
Hmm.
okay. And I love horses specifically. I work with them and I ride. And but to be able to get to the vet school, probably either do like some type of animal science or there is an equine science. So I'll probably be majoring in one of those.
That's good. That's good, man. We are fat. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Hmm.
That's so cool. I'm gonna ask you some trivia question then, right?
Okay.
What is your favorite hobby when you're not playing volleyball? What are some of the things that you do outside of volleyball?
um, Definitely, I do love to take my dog on a walk.
Yeah,
He loves walking and he
yeah.
just makes me so happy. Probably horse like hanging out with horses. I love
Hmm.
just being out there like away from super busy everything.
Yes,
I love just hanging with him or like going with a friend and we hang out with our horses. It's
yes,
definitely like a lot of fun. It's very relaxing.
yes.
Or even just decompressing and like watching a show is very
Yeah,
nice.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. What's your pre-game meals before a volleyball game? What do you eat?
Okay. I definitely do like especially a few years ago I went for the pasta. I love pasta and
Yeah,
then like apples and then my dad will usually like cut me up some chicken that I'll have on the side cuz he's the cook in our family. He loves
yeah.
cooking. And yeah, that's probably what I'll go. And then my favorite snack cuz I my blood sugar will drop really fast for in between.
Hmm.
I love fig bars.
Hmm.
They're especially the raspberry blueberry. Those are my favorite.
That's good. I know this is not a trivia question, but who's the biggest influence in your volleyball career?
It has to be it has to be this coach I had. She changed everything for me. She brought so much confidence back to me. She changed my whole position actually,
Mm.
and she gave me confidence. Her name is Cat Pond, Catrice Pond,
Hmm.
and she played in college at Grand Canyon University, and I
Yeah,
love her whole family. And she's just definitely like has a special place in my heart for
yeah.
everything she's helped me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a big role coaches can play, coaches, trainer,
Hmm.
teachers can play on a kid life, right?
Yeah.
So you just need that one person to believe in you. You
Yeah.
know, it's sad that some coaches out there are very negative,
Yes.
right? But
Yeah.
when you find out one coach that's positive and believe in you, it just sparkles, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing that you said that. But before we go, if we have little girls watching this podcast right now, what words of encouragement could you give her that want to play at high school level, even college level? I know you're gonna commit some. We don't want to share the secret right now,
Yes.
right? Um, yeah. So, what words of encouragement can you give that little girl that watching right now, in terms of just some
Yeah.
encouragement?
Yeah.
What words could you give them?
Definitely at times it gets hard and
Hmm.
you like feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not good or anything, but just know like you can overcome that. It definitely, there are days where it's like you're just off.
Hmm.
Everyone's off, even at the college level. I've watched college girls and I'm like, usually they're so good and they just have an off game. Like, it's just something that you have to be able to move on from and just
Yeah.
focus on the next day, like focus on the next play.
Hmm.
That's definitely the biggest thing.
That's good. That's good. So yeah, you have it. This is the end of the episode 7 of the Bigwu Fitness podcast. If you like this episode, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll highly appreciate that. So Addison, once again, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming,
thank you for having me.
for chatting with us. We appreciate you. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye.